know how much student loan debt she has, how much credit card debt she has, because marriage is a business.
You hear about the man who's considering calling off his whole wedding because his fiance refuses to sign a prenup.
Pretty girl Sophie, I want to tell you guys, as a 19-year-old with
19-year-old?
$45,000 in debts alone, why is your hair done? Why is your eyelashes? Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can feel broke. Like, I just want to feel like myself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I am not being led by a toddler. But you think I'm about to allow you to lead me? You crazy.
Came across this. Middle-aged man calls off wedding after discovering bride-to-be has $95,000 in credit card debt. And the question is, was he wrong for this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let me tell you guys something about the debt that single women have that men are going to have to start looking into before marriage. You need to know how much student loan debt she has, how much credit card debt she has. You need to know about any outstanding personal loans that she has, any tax issues that she may have. And this could go on both sides. But specifically, if you're dealing with a woman who wants you to be a provider and pay all of the bills in the household, you need to make sure she's not bringing any major debt to the household. Another thing that I will say is, do not go into debt to give your fiance this outlandish wedding for one day. It is a bad idea, because a lot of people will decide, well, we're going to both borrow money to give her the quote-unquote wedding of her dreams. That's not a good idea, because the interest rate that you're going to pay on that for that one day is not going to be worth it. But I'm going to tell women something who have student loan debt, you specifically, and credit card debt, like this woman, you specifically, or loans, or payday advance loans that y'all got. You better clear those up if you're thinking about any man of substance and worth getting into business with you, because marriage is a business. Listen, yes, every now and then, every blue moon, you will have some man who will have so much money he won't care. But that's not the everyday man. Only one person really can win the big lottery. Every now and then there's a couple winners, but there's never a whole city or a whole group of people. Think about it.
Yeah, a lot of ladies need to think. I mean, but they parade around life expecting every man to be that provider man. There's not enough guys to go around. It's a handful of guys, literally. What I mean by handful is out of, say, 150 million men, you may find 20,000. That's slim pickings. Maybe 100,000. Still very slim pickings. Out of 150, what are those odds? 150 over 100,000. You do the math. Then you realize I'm extremely delusional. Guys prove it all the time.
Did you hear about the man who's considering calling off his whole wedding because his fiance refuses to sign a prenup after he found out that she has massive credit card debt? So this middle-aged man is meant to be marrying his fiance in a few months. They've been together for 3 years and engaged for 1. And for most of that time, he genuinely believed they were on the same page about their life values and, most importantly, honesty. Now, for background, he's worked really hard to build a stable financial foundation. Now, although he's not wealthy, he does own his home outright and he has no personal debt. And he's been saving and investing since his early 20s. This has been...
So, good move. The man is the opposite of her, right? The man said, you know what? I need to get my life in order. I need to do this. I need to save. I need to invest to get with somebody who's burning credit cards. That's the exact opposite of doing what's right. I mean, come on now. When you get credit debt, you have to have the money to pay for it. Like me, I don't mind having a credit card because I can afford having a credit card. I make well over enough. I don't want to say how much I make, but I make enough to pay it. If you can't pay it, don't acquire credit card debt. Don't acquire a loan. Don't get any of that.
Has been a priority for him, especially since his parents went through a nasty divorce that ruined both of them financially. Now, about a month ago, while they were discussing wedding costs, he brought up a prenup. Not in a cold or controlling way, he just wanted to protect the life that he worked so hard to build. He was upfront with her that he would still be fair and she wouldn't be left out with nothing, and he was expecting to have an adult conversation. But instead, she got immediately defensive. She said things like, "Oh, so you're already planning for a divorce? And I thought we trusted each other." He tried to explain to her that it wasn't about trust. It was about transparency and mutual protection. But she shut it down completely. That's when the red flags started popping up. She became evasive every time money came up. And he started to notice weird things like credit card offers in the mail, a few mispayments on shared expenses that she said she would cover, and lots of, oh, I'll handle it later. So he asked her directly if she has debt. She admitted to it. $92,000 in credit card debt. Not student loans, not a mortgage, credit cards. She said it accumulated over the years from unexpected expenses and a few dumb splurges, but she never told him about any of it until he forced the issue. He was stunned. They were about to merge their lives. This woman was about to legally become his spouse, and she didn't think that he deserved to know that she was 6 figures in debt. He told her that this made the prenup a non-negotiable for him. He needed to protect himself, not just emotionally, but financially. He told her that he was still willing to move forward, but not with something in writing that would protect his premarital assets. She lost it, called him selfish, said that he was turning love into a business deal. She said that his house and money should be hers too, if they're truly a team. Since then, she's refused to talk to him about a prenup, and they're barely even speaking. Even her mother called him and accused him of humiliating her daughter and for being materialistic. All he wants is to not be liable for debt he didn't create, and to make sure that the life he created before this is protected. So now he's really reconsidering this whole wedding, not because she has debt, but because she hid it and then refused to take responsibility, and is now treating him like the bad guy just for trying to protect himself. He's almost certain that she can pay off her debts since she is a partner in her friend's business, but she just refuses to. So now he's wondering, is he the AH for thinking about walking away?
No, he's smart. I mean, that's irresponsible. And she has a business with a friend. She's probably able to pay herself 50,000, 60,000. That means if you have an S corp, you're writing off a lot of things. So why are you not paying your debt? Why are you not putting money to the side to say, you know what? I got a little bit here. Here you go. I got a little bit there. There you go. No man wants to deal with that. No man wants to deal with somebody so irresponsible, because you ladies like to get the business. That's wild. She has a business, but you can't pay for your debt. I don't want to be involved. Without a prenup. At least he said, get a prenup.
Pretty girl Sophie, I want to tell you guys, as a 19-year-old with
19-year-old?
$45,000 in debts alone, y'all, please don't get a finance car. Literally, y'all. I have a Jeep, 2021 Jeep. I bought back in 2023. I financed for $46,000, right? I'm like, I really want this.
This is why these girls want a provider man. They're in debt. They're in shambles. Somebody pay off this debt, please.
This is my dream car. Yeah, don't get on me talking about, oh, Jeep is your dream car. Yes, at the time I was 18. It was my dream car, like most definitely. But now I can't get rid of this car. Literally, I'm stuck with this car, y'all. Like, I'm in so much debt right now, y'all. Like, most of my paycheck is going towards this car. Half of it is going towards this car, y'all. I'm literally struggling so bad, and I want to document my journey on how I'm going to get rid of it. I've been doing DoorDash, like pay off, sometimes 'cause, like, honestly, me working is not going to cover it up. And before y'all be like, oh, why is your hair done? Why is your eyelashes done? With my DoorDash money I earn. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can feel broke. Like, I just want to feel like myself. You know what I'm saying? But my car, right? My car note is literally, guys, I cannot stress enough. It's $978 a month plus warranty. That's $154. So calculate that. I'm paying $1,200 something alone on this car, y'all. Like, I'm struggling, but nobody knows I'm struggling because I was ashamed of it. Like, now it's like, I don't really care what people think. Like, y'all gonna care. It is what it is. I know y'all like, well, you do that. Yeah, I lived and I learned.
You lived and you learned. 45,000 in debt at 19. I wonder we didn't get the other lady's age. But 19? You're a walking red flag. And it's funny because she looks like somebody one of you guys was seeing a club. That's why a club is not the move. You got a bunch of girls like this in a club. My lip gloss is popping. Got the makeup on. Looks like that may be your real hair, actually. Possibly. It's kind of short. That may be her real hair. She got the boobage on your face. She may have a fatty, so you're looking at her going, ooh, that's something nice. Don't get her pregnant. And don't get married. Avoid. This is why men have realized it's cheaper not to have her. Smash and dash. Don't give up any cash. That's how I'm in the character nowadays.
To admit when you can't afford something. This weekend is actually my sister-in-law and future brother-in-law's bachelor and bachelorette parties, and my husband and I are skipping out because we couldn't afford it. Their wedding is in July, and we are going out of town to be in their wedding, and we're really excited.
You know what this girl said? Me and my husband skipped out because we can't afford it. That's why he made you his wife. He's a smart man. Let me let her continue.
In the wedding party, and obviously we're invited to the bachelor and bachelor parties, and initially we did commit to it and we paid for Airbnb stays, but we never booked like flights or anything like that. A couple months later we decided against it because it was gonna be lots of money for us to either fly our kids to Arizona so that my parents could watch them while we were both out of town, and between both of our flights, potentially flights for our kids, and just having spending money, like this would have been a few $1,000s that we just don't have. Granted, my husband and I do make decent money, so we could have budgeted it out and saved for it like we have been doing for the wedding and other like big life events we have coming up. But in the state that we're in, trying to pay off debt, it really just did not make sense to do these extra trips, especially considering that we also went to Disney and took our kids back in February. It sucks, and I have so much FOMO, but I am truly so excited for them, and I'm very excited to be a part of their wedding in July. I just think it's okay to admit sometimes when you can't afford something. We had to have that hard conversation after we initially committed and let them know that we actually aren't going to be able to, and it's tough, but it's okay. Everybody has different things going on in their lives. Everyone's situation is different, and it is okay to admit that you can't afford something, then put it on a credit card and think about it later. And you're listening to the queen of that. I feel like I just had to get that off my chest, so now I'm gonna go watch Twilight. Do you guys see these hua hua vibes?
I think she had a long talk. See, this is what marriage is about, right? I'm sure the husband reasoned with her, and she listens. You heard her say she's married? The other girl's not married, right? With the credit card debt. You see the pattern? Guys are not marrying these girls that are irresponsible. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I spoke to my husband. She said we decided. She didn't say he decided. We decided. Yeah, because he reasoned with you, and you listen to reason. Men do this all the time. Like, and sometimes women won't realize, like, a lot of times, even the relationship I'm in now, you have to point out. I've said it 4 or 5 times. You haven't noticed, because sometimes they don't. Right? I talk so much. I talk on the video. I talk all over the place. So sometimes a person that you're with may not realize you brought this up before, but they sat down, talked about it, and they're in agreement. It's good to have a woman in agreement.
I feel like, because I just listened to a story of a woman who she was married for like 50 days and then got a divorce. So from what I heard from the story, and I'm going to go back and finish it. Military, met in a Christian group. He's left her at places before. When I think about women being unable to cut off an engagement, instead go through with a wedding, I think about a few things. One of those things being, if we have been conditioned for centuries to value a man, overly value a man wanting to marry us, and then you finally get to that finish line, the proposal, the wedding, whatever, you're going to be hard pressed. You're going to be hard pressed to meet a woman that would actually turn that down. Because in a lot of women's minds, it's like, Mark, it took me forever to get here. I think about the scene in Sex and the City when Charlotte said, I've been dating since I was 15. Where is he already? That's what this reminds me of when, and obviously, you know, the young lady in the video said that now that she's out of it, she sees all of the red flags. She sees what it really was. And this is why the decentering men movement is so important, because you should 100% have the ability to say, I'm not doing this. I'm not getting married. I don't care that he asked me. I'm not getting married. You should be able to take the ring off.
Now, the guy was older than her, which is how back in the days they married. Now he was expecting her to have children right away, which is something back in the days, right, would have been done. But we're in a new era now. And these ladies see that as a problem. They see it as bondage because she didn't want to have kids right away. She wanted to enjoy the marriage, meaning, i.e., spend all of his money. He wanted to have babies, which would have costed a lot of money too. But doesn't it make sense? Why would a man want to wait? He probably was one of those guys that didn't want to put a baby in anything. Struggled with a woman his age. She was much younger than him, which is how a lot of men need to marry anyway. Look at what's going on nowadays. Men can't deal with the older ladies. Why? Look at the ladies who are responding to this 53 days in a divorce. Watch what she says.
Off and move on with your life, because that shows your self-love, your self-esteem, your self-worth. But when you condition women, or you condition them from birth, that marriage is the end all, having kids is the end all be all, do not be surprised when women don't pull the trigger as fast as they should. Yes. Do we miss red flags? Do we overlook things? Absolutely. But that's why marriage and children have to be taken off the pedestal as the end goal for women, because if you don't, you're going to continue to see women get into relationships and engagements, marriages, where now it's like, I can't go back. I'm here at the goal. It's like being 5 pounds away from your goal weight. You just say, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm going to push through because I am almost there. That's what it's like for a woman that has been desperately wanting to get married all of her life, when the red flags are there. If marriage did not exist, if having babies did not exist, I'm just making some up, but if it did not exist, the thirst would not be there. You would simply see things in the relationship and be like, yeah, bye. Also, if women knew, you know what, I'm gonna drop him, I'll get me somebody else. If they had that mindset, that would make them unstoppable. But I don't get on women too hard about missing red flags, because when you look at the bigger picture, this has been going on forever. Religion has preached, you have to be married, you have to have kids. Society has pushed, get married, have a baby. Red pill incels have told you, oh, when you're 25 and you're not married, you fit the wall. Like, we've had so much programming thrown our way that when you hit the finish line, you just go through with it. How many married women do you know will confide and tell you post-divorce, I actually saw the flags when we were dating? But they felt the shame and they just could not go through with it. Who wants to get proposed to, telling all your family and friends and coworkers, and then now you're not engaged? This is why it's not a big deal to hear that a man called off an engagement. It's probably very rare. But for a woman, it's like, oh, I missed the mark. I was so close. I was at my goal. So you have to undo all of that. You do not have to settle. Even in engagement, you've been waiting all your life. Don't do it, because you are going to truly regret it. So have the esteem and the courage to cut off an engagement if it's not, because what you're seeing then is going to magnify even more when you do get married.
Now, you're saying cut it off, right? You know what these ladies do? Like that woman, she called off the engagement. Then they call off another engagement. Yeah, because guys are proposing, because guys want to get them while they're young. They hit 30, them problems. Then they hit 40, geriatric pregnancy, nobody wants them. they're a nightmare. They all keep chasing the same cycle. And they don't see it's a problem, but it's a major problem. And guys are no longer staying around because of it.
Christian group in July and then got married to him in January. After y'all met, you moved in with him 11 weeks later. You have a son, so I'm assuming the son moved in with him too. This man was notorious for just walking out and leaving you at restaurants and stuff. Even that time when y'all went out of town for your graduation ceremony, and that was only 3 days after he proposed. Y'all start planning for the wedding. You want to go out of the country and get married, but he wants to have a big wedding here so that his dad can come. Because the first marriage that he had, he eloped. And he eloped with you too, but he still wanted to have the big wedding so his dad could come. Y'all start getting everything together. Total come out to $50,000. And guess what? He and his dad got into a huge argument. He punched a hole in the wall, and his dad didn't even come to the $50,000 wedding. He criticizes you for making sacrifices for your son, bringing him back and forth like an hour so he can get to school. And he throws it in your face the one time that your son gets in trouble, saying you making all these sacrifices and he don't even do right. He crashes the hell out on you because you said you want to wait a while to have kids. Like, y'all just got married. Can we enjoy being together first? So he wants the kids now. As if he's the one going to be carrying around a baby for 9 months. As if his body is going to be put through trauma. Married in January, moved into a new place together in February. You found tenants for both of your houses. He gets mad and irritated with you because you fell asleep on the couch as if you hadn't been moving all damn day. He got so mad at you because he wanted to read the Bible on Saturday, but you're used to reading on Sunday. He's Hebrew, you're Christian. You leave the house to go do some work, but when you come back, you have one more Zoom meeting. You get on your Zoom meeting, this man gets up, storms out the house, turns off his location, and texts you randomly at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, FYI, I'm back at my house. He's supposed to come over the next day so y'all can talk. He comes over the next day, but with movers, and they move all his stuff back to his house. He was in their house with you for 1 day, and he moved back to his house, and he filed for divorce.
That right there, actually, it's not the girl's fault. It's his fault. Maybe the man doesn't read the Torah. I don't know, but let me tell you this. Let me tell you why. They're unequally yoked. She was a Christian woman who goes to church on a Sunday, and he was Jewish. Unequally yoked. It was never going to work. And the Bible talks about that. It says, don't get with someone that's unequally yoked, especially with religion. That came into play. She started thinking about her past religious experience she did as a child. Probably hasn't been in church in years. But because she did it as a child, she wouldn't change. I understand why he divorced her. He had to. He should have never married her in the first place. He wasted a lot of money in the wedding, and it was his fault. Maybe he has a lot of money. I don't know. Maybe he's a baller. Seems like it. From how this lady was explaining the situation. But what a fool. What a fool.
Being married for 53 days and being together for less than a year is crazy. The girl told a story time about how she met her husband in July of last year. They got married in January, and now they about to get divorced. And in that story, it was just so many red flags. Like, number one is his lack of maturity and selfishness when it came into fights. So anytime they got into like the littlest things, he walked away or he left her there. First of all, if me and my fiance going back and forth and you leave me where I'm at, you don't even gotta worry about me being your fiance, because it's just like, I look at it in so many different ways. Like, number one, like, it's a lack of maturity. We can't have a conversation even if we both are disagreeing. It's like a lack of caring for me. You're being selfish. You only worry about you. And also, it's just so many little red flags like that she saw within that entire interaction. Like, him doing that and just him, every time he gets upset, he just goes away and then comes back whenever he feels better. Or they talk about it, but they don't really talk about it. And then I think that he just wanted somebody that he could lead. I think it's not even that. I think he wanted to control it. Because he was like, oh, I want you to get pregnant now. She's like, oh, no, I gotta wait to take my boards. He like, no, the man is supposed to lead. You're supposed to follow me. Oh, no, I am not being led by a toddler. And first of all, if you know that I'm close to being done school and you want me to get pregnant right before that, like, that is so selfish. And it kind of goes to the fact that I said men, sometimes they want to be married. They don't want to have, like, they don't want a wife. They don't want to be like, or maybe it's reverse. They want a wife, but they don't want to be married. Like, either or. Like, they want the idea of a relationship, not what the relationship entails. And they want to be able to control it. And honestly, being a control freak that I am, and even in my relationship, like, I don't, like, we both have autonomy. We both can say things. But you think I'm about to allow you to lead me? You crazy.
We do not care.
You think I'm about to allow you to lead me? You're crazy. Actually, the man was right. He was a little bit forward with his attitude. He should have been put himself on a leash. Shouldn't have been such, what do you call it? So emotional. Sounds like an emotional man. But he should have been leading the situation. And he should have known you're dealing with a modern woman. I don't think he looks at the internet much. He's not in tune with what's going on in society. Can't be. Because if he was, this would have never happened. Like all the guys I know, this would never happen to. Because guys are in tune with the heartbeat of today. Guys understand a lot of these ladies. You see, every woman that responded, I'm a control freak, especially the last one. You're a control freak, but I'm a man. A man's supposed to be the control freak. You're a control freak. I'm going to be fighting with her every day about working out. I could never be with her unequally yoked.
And they're going to relate to it 100%.
I kept forgiving her, thinking one day she'd finally understand my worth. But all I really taught her was that no matter how deeply she cut me, I'd still stay, still bleed, still love her through the pain. She got used to my softness, my silence, my it's okay.
Nice guy.
People don't change when they're comfortable, and I made it too easy for her to break me. She never had to choose me, because she knew I'd always be there, even when she didn't deserve me.
Sounds like the nice guy, doesn't it? Oh, you like to say you're a nice guy because you like to manipulate situations. Nice guys are in marriages and are broken for so many years. But let me continue.
And maybe the saddest part is she never apologized, because she never felt like she was wrong. And I hate that it took losing myself to finally understand love isn't real when it's one-sided. And loyalty means nothing if it's given to someone who doesn't value it. But now, I'm done bleeding for someone who never even tried to stop the knife.
The problem is too many men are still stuck in the middle of all those phases. They're still stuck in the, if I just loved her more, then she'd stop hurting me phase. If I just show her that I truly love her, she'll recognize what she has and she'll come back and realize that we're meant to be together. That's never going to work. Because exactly like that video said, she's comfortable because she knows that you're always going to be there for her. I made the same mistake. I even kept saying in videos that I would always be there for my ex-wife. Not anymore. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't able to recognize that what I was doing was enabling her behavior. I let it get to a point where she finally pissed me off enough and did enough damage that now I just want nothing to do with her in any way. And that's sad because that's going to affect my son. Because now he has to deal with two parents who are just never going to get along. I will not communicate with my ex-wife unless it has something to do with my kid. And it better be something important. The only way we could ever remotely get along again is if she were to actually apologize and not just say things like she used to say, like, I'm sorry you feel this way. I never meant to make you feel this way, but you did this, that, and the other. Nothing like that. No, it needs to be 100% accountability. I did these things. I was wrong. I didn't realize how I was hurting you. You know, down that route, the actual apology. But I'm not holding my breath. I know it'll never happen because, like that video said, she doesn't think she did anything wrong. And because I kept enabling that behavior and kept forgiving her for all of her bad mistakes, she just continued to do it because she knew I wouldn't leave. That's why she kept stringing me along even after we separated, thinking we were going to work things out. She made me believe that because she wanted me to still be there for her. She wanted me as her husband without her being my wife.
Man, that right there, it's the worst. It's the worst feeling a man can feel. Broken. And you know what's wild? That man, before he got married to that girl with the credit card debt, he would have went down the same road. He called up the wedding and saved himself many years of headache. Congratulations to you, bro. I hope the same thing for many guys out there. Don't be a saver. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. Yeah, guys. Thanks for watching. Other than that, peace out. See you next video.